I'm gonna put it on
I'm
Patreon.
writing the tweet right now.
Oh, nice. You're able to. Oh, because iPad and phone, two different mediums.
Mm-hmm. I did get my dad is letting me borrow his computer until the new one comes in.
Yeah.
Did you order it?
Yeah, and I tried to go on Zoom or whatever on the other one, and it just was like, no, never, no.
What kind of computer?
Well, first off, let's turn down your ring light because it's Caspering on you. But what did you order?
MacBook Pro.
What'd you put on it?
Nothing. I wanted to just put Final Draft and Junior
No, I
Edit.
mean like the hardware wise.
Like we could get into this after the live episode.
Yeah, let's do that after. I don't want to.
Let's talk the specs of Brendan's new machine post live episode. But that sounds exciting, Brendan. Congratulations on a big purchase.
Thanks.
That's huge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but this Mac was like, I tried it and it was like, it wouldn't even take the camera that I used on my other computer on. It just wouldn't accept anything I've been trying to do.
That's okay. None of us accept you. So welcome everybody to our live episode, our weekly live episode of What's a Scenario, our typically Patreon exclusive podcast. We do one live episode per week, usually on Mondays. This week, all of us were jurors on the Legion of Skanks. Big case there, Ari versus Luis J. Gomez. We played no role whatsoever, even though we were promised a chance to speak and promote. But
didn't have to be there at all, I'd say.
No, not at all. It seemed like Luis just needed support.
They didn't even show like they didn't even say. They just said the final vote was 8-4, but they didn't say like. I was assuming what we were going to do is we were going to have one person represent the jury, stand up and kind of do, since everything else was very,
right. Well, and I also wrote a name that would have given me away. So I did it intentionally because I voted. I wrote Luis Selena Gomez.
That's so funny.
Yeah, which is a callback to what I said they would have to change his middle name to the last episode I was just on. Would have been fun. Little Easter egg in there for nobody.
Damn.
Yeah, for Sal. Just for Sal. Poor Sal's probably going to lose everything because he was there last night.
What a shit show, dude.
Yeah,
what an absolute shit show.
But on to this shit show. So what's the scenario? We are a hypothetical-based podcast. We do what-if scenarios, always fueled by our Patreon members. We have questions that they submit every single week. They build the show. We are wildly malleable, and each show is a freewheeling fun time. This one, we do our own homework. Brendan, our resident open mic rapper, is the one that comes up with the questions and asks them.
You don't like the Scully?
I mean, I like it. It's hilarious. It's just like, it's so on the nose for you.
Yeah. It's like you're going as you for Halloween.
Yeah. It's like Ari wearing a yarmulke. We already got it.
Yeah, it's like it's super tight though. It's like very tight.
Yeah, it's so warm.
It's like
when I wear it outside.
It has a very condom like look to it.
Yeah, you have a reservoir tip.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you actually do.
Where all the cum goes, right here.
Yeah. Which is such a weird thing because I usually feel like, I could fill a tank with what I got cooking in my bag. But then when the reservoir tip fills up and it's like, oh, that's all I'm spewing.
Sometimes though, dude, sometimes you do fill it up, man. Like, sometimes it's nothing, but then sometimes you're like, it looks like a fucking air balloon.
Yeah, sometimes it looks like you have an interactive sheath over your penis where Right, Feeney?
All right.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the live link because it's linked to our Patreon, but can people see that aren't? It says video unavailable.
No, I put it as public. It's a public post on our Patreon, so everybody is able to see it. I
know, but what I'm saying is when I click and it goes to the Patreon, it says video unavailable. But then I guess if you re-click that link, then it'll go to YouTube. I don't know. Let them figure it out. That's what I always say.
Yeah. I mean, whatevs. But welcome everyone. So Brendan, do you have your first what's the scenario?
I do have a first question. It's a little long, but we'll see. You know, I don't even remember taking this question, but whatever. Let's see what this is. You are a manager at a university.
Oh, a manager.
I
don't think that's a position.
What? Let's just read through the question here.
It's already a false premise.
You are a dragon.
Yeah.
You are a manager at a university. A service specialist signed for a delivery of 12 roses. It turns out that the student had gone on spring break and the roses sat in the mailroom till they were wilted. The student's father contacted the client and complained that the flowers were not delivered. The client is looking to you to handle the situation. What do you do?
I glazed. I was staring at you talking, and I didn't. I glazed right over. I lost.
Let's do an easy one first.
Immediately.
I don't know what happened there.
I just was like, I don't think I've ever cared about a scenario less than the one that we're talking about. Wilting flowers. Should we get Nicole for this?
Do you know what I would have done? I would have taken kerosene and set them on fire and had a new Instagram story. That's
so what is it now? Who?
It's how do you get these fresh daisies to the idiot who went on spring break without them? It's like you don't. You say, hey, this had a limited shelf life and you missed it, you idiot.
I don't even know. So sure, convoy that shit. I don't. Let's just get that out of here. Let's start anew, like a fresh flower budding.
Convoy.
All
let's
right.
Never think of that again.
Okay, the next one's also kind of long, but I think it's a little bit easier. But let's do an easier one.
I don't care about easy and hard. Yeah. I'm more worried about interesting.
Yeah, there was no.
It's your job to be interesting. Not
That's
the question.
very true. That's fair. But also, it's not about the difficulty because that wasn't difficult. If anything, that was a bit easy in the sense that, nobody, including if they were real people, has ever cared about this.
Man, I'm really learning how to fucking school Feeny in the words of smug cuntiness.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Nothing. Okay, next question.
Hold on. All right, fine. Next question, but I want to circle back to that and find out what you think.
We never will. Okay.
I do like that Brendan did lose confidence in the skull beanie since we said it looked like a reservoir tip and he's since taken it off.
It's so hot. That I should have just gelled
with
my
all those
hair.
the hot lights underneath you.
This one specifically?
Yes.
Well, yes. That was the...
Oh, all right. Are we recording?
Nope.
I wish we weren't.
No, this has been a practice 5 minutes. So guys, thanks for joining us for our warm-up.
Now let's start.
So that is
welcome to the show, everybody.
Please, that is absolutely no bearing on how we perform weekly. That was just a throwaway 5 minutes that we gave to you for free before now we're really turning on the charm. So
and we'll definitely edit out of the final product. So only those who are...
No, come on.
We don't. These just stay up live.
Oh. Okay. Would you be willing to spend a night alone in a remote house that is supposedly haunted just for the sake of it, knowing nothing more about the history of the house than that? There is no electricity, though there is running water and other utilities, and you can bring your own flashlight and a lantern, and the nearest neighbors live 5 miles away. Would you stay in this house?
I don't care about the lights and other stuff. I want to know more the bedding situation. Are there fresh sheets? Is somebody making the bed, or am I just laying on old creaky floor?
No, it's the sheets from the murder. It's the same sheets.
Well, what's the incentive for me to do that?
The incentive is content for the podcast. So you get a cameraman. Yes. You get a cameraman. They have a light on their camera. Yeah. So you know that's all well and done. My big question is, do you get there during the day so you get to set up for the whole, you get to prepare and get ready for yourself for the night, or do you get dropped off in the deepest of the dark night?
You get there during the day, I'll say.
Okay. You will say.
as Commissioner of Questions.
Oh man, it should just be you in a skin tight Riddler suit, just be the Commissioner of Questions.
Yeah, and say it is content. Lavin goes with you.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to film you.
Okay. Yeah, I think I do it. I think I would sacrifice my
For
sanity
a whole night.
For
We
a
should
whole
have done
night.
that.
I mean, I really like, so there's spots we could have done it over the summertime and maybe it's a next summer thing, but there's some spots up on Clausland Mountain near where I live where they have these tunnels that were like, there's all these different theories as to what they were, and whether they could have been part of the Underground Railroad or like just some World War II shit. Like there's all these theories, but what's not a theory is that there's some real weird fucking goth kids that like wear blood on their face and drink moonshine and hang out in them, and that would be an interesting place to just in the dark walk around and be filmed. We'd probably get accosted.
Oh yeah. They're like calling us posers and everything.
Conformists.
Flashlight. They have cat contacts in, and they're like,
"You fake bohemian conformists."
Yeah, that was my first camera. They're also cunts about what your tech is.
How long do you think alone though? Like all you have is just like a little earpiece in your ear to talk to us alone in a haunted in a house that's supposedly haunted, a really old
that doesn't
Gothic
change anything for
manor.
me. That's the same amount of time as if somebody was there with me. If you have an earwig in, you're not alone.
Really?
I don't.
Yeah, because if I can constantly be like, guys, this is fucking crazy, and you guys are like, I know, dude, that's probably terrified. Then it's like that's
True.
fine. Like it's a fun distraction. If you're talking like no cell phones or anything, that's when it gets creepy.
Yeah, but that is what I'm talking about.
But it's also us on
Wasn't.
the earwig, Feeney. So we could feed him our voices to assure him, or we could just go silent for a while and just see how he does.
Yeah.
All
right, without the earwig, just alone.
Yeah, I don't.
How long do you think you could do it?
I think I could. I don't. I also find the whole like haunted. Like it'd be different if you're like staying in like a abandoned mental institution where there's still like fucking dried blood on the walls. But if you're like, this house is haunted and it might have ghosts, it's kind of like how Richards was saying he was on that ghost show, but like he was just playing like I'm the black guy that's supposed to be scared of ghosts, but he just made it like funny because he's like, there's nothing you can do when you're not actually seeing ghosts besides being like, what was that? Every like 5 minutes, you just throw one of those out there. So it's like, unless you have some sort of place where it's going to be like some pretty tactile physical proof that something's happening of the supernatural, I feel like that's why all those movies don't work on me. The Jasons, the Freddys, all those things, none of those scare me, but the fucking ones that are like Leatherface and fucking Michael Myers, normal people going crazy scares the shit out of me. But like, this is a paranormal activity thing, I'm like, I don't buy it.
Yeah, but sometimes your brain is so powerful, and also, Feeney, it's hilarious. The two guitars behind you look like devil horns, but your brain can take a place like that is just naturally creaky because of its age, and also whatever rustic bullshit is inside of it and rats and whatever. It's like your brain can do some pretty powerful shit and make you a believer pretty quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It would for sure scare you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? I'll bet you 500.
That what?
I don't know. I'll put you in an old house or something.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'll be doing research over the next few months, finding where the scariest places are.
But just know the price is 500.
Yeah,
I would love to see Feeney in just a fucking haunted house, just starting to go. You know what, guys? This is actually kind of spooky.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Except Brendan and
I turn into Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
Yes. And then Brendan and I hire an actual rapist.
See, now that's the move. If you put me in a place that you tell me is creepy and it's lore of haunted, but then you go above and beyond and start hiring, actors and people to like walk around in the attic and stuff and be creepy, then it's like that'll scare me. But again, it's still not scaring me for the right reasons. It's not an actual supernatural sort of occurrence. It's it's a haunted house. You basically have me staying in a Halloween haunted house.
Yeah,
Right.
but what if you're in the house and then you hear creaking and stuff and you're like, guys, okay, yeah, that's real funny, and we're like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
But-
And if
but
you're
also-
there and I'm
who's-
here,
Zoinks!
But also, both fear is the same, isn't it? Because the fear at its base is just physical harm. So I'm not scared of a ghost because it's a ghost. I'm scared of a ghost because it could make me a ghost.
I think I would be
It's the
scared of a
same as
ghost.
person.
I think I'd be scared of a ghost if I saw a ghost because I'm like, oh, that's something that's not on this terrestrial plane, and I don't know what it could do to me, and it also immediately shatters any sense of reality I think I have on the world over my entire life. If it's just like a legless
immediate
thing
shatter.
floating,
I
you're like,
I
oh,
have
nothing I
no-
thought is real. Great.
I have no sense of reality. My sense of reality has floated away over the last 7 months. I'm complete. A ghost could be sitting right next to me, and I'd give it a fucking pound.
I'm like more or less certain that if there is another lockdown, Mike Cannon will not come out of it. The only person left will be Frank Rigatone. That will be who is. The transition is happening as if there's a cloud behind a full moon, and at any moment that cloud could move, and he'll just be like rah rah rah, and just have an M13 in his hand.
I mean, yeah,
Run.
dude. November 3rd from 8 a.m. I'm perching out in the front of this driveway with that just giant rifle, being like, "I dare you." I'm just ready, baby. I'm ready for anything.
Damn.
All
Isn't
right.
that like? I feel like that area is like red, isn't it?
I don't know what it is. It's. I think it's a pretty healthy mix. There's certainly whatever. But I don't. Yeah. I don't know. It's certainly not going to do anything because that's what people here are famous for. People in Rockland County are famous for being blustery and doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Do we have any questions in the chat?
We do, actually. We got Nifty Biscuit. Aliens arrive at your front door and ask you to take them to your leader. Who do you introduce them to and why? Luis J. Gomez.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even know who to go to. I'd go to like a low-level cop and I'd be like, can you bring these guys to the president or something?
Yeah.
Who's our leader?
Jerry Seinfeld.
That's
I-
perfect.
I
Be like,
bring
what
the
do you want to
alien-
know about toast? He's got 10 minutes on it.
I bring the alien to Esty, and she determines his future.
Dude, I'm laughing at just like introducing these aliens to Jerry Seinfeld and then them being like, we know the ways of the cotton ball now.
Yeah.
You never
What
had.
is the
I've never
deal
used
with
one.
one-
Why do women always eat them? They get them by the ship ton.
What is the deal with one sock in a drying machine?
I just watched a thing with him and Steve Martin talking, and they just about comedy and stuff. And he was saying that it's impossible to be a comedian if you're not easily irritated. Which I think of all of the comedic perspectives, people have to be like, you have to be angry, and it's like I don't think so. But it is a good point where it's like if you're not easily irritated, it's
Yeah.
hard for you to notice something
Yeah.
that happens to all of us that is an annoyance. of
I
some-
also want to know if that's the proper way to qualify it. Is it easily irritated or is it correctly irritated when everyone else is numb to reality? It's like there's so many fucking dummies out there that I feel sometimes that I'm the only sober one walking around. You know what I mean? And
But what
obviously
if
that's-
what if you're easily irritated at how non-irritated people get at a nominal thing?
But I don't think it's easy. I think that's just reasonably irritated at how much it takes for other people to get irritated. You know?
Mhm.
I don't know. I also think that it's a level of sensitivity. I think that's probably a better way to put it than Crew and Nicole are watching from the window. But I think that's a better way to put it than irritated, because I feel sensitive to everything and aware and or maybe hyper aware and trying, maybe picking up on things that I'm and maybe picking up on things that I am creating. So that could be it, but I don't know. I think irritated is also a good word.
Yeah. Hyper aware, and then like how you react to that hyper awareness, I think.
Right.
Makes different kind of comics and stuff. This is talking comedy with the boys. We just
when can you say the N-word?
I mean, always, especially if you want to get something done. All right, Lost in the Sauce. He has a question. You all were found guilty of treason against the King of England, and you are sent to the gallows. What are your last words before you die?
Oh man, you can go the funny way. You could go the, you want to confuse them way.
Michael's wall looked like it was splattered in blood just then.
Yeah. Happy Halloween.
What would yours be?
I don't know either. I think last words are kind of how should we call this? Gay.
Well, there's the Bart Simpson you could do, a lifetime of living in sin followed by the deathbed repentance. It's a pretty good plan. Just in case there is a God, you can be like, we're A-okay with AOC.
I would
Alexandria
definitely...
occasional cortex.
Okay, yeah. Occasionally.
Occasional cortex.
Yeah.
That's what my dad said to me. He was like, he looked at me like he just dropped like an anvil of a punchline. And I'm like, dude, I just did 3 years of a podcast with somebody that called me a globe head. You can't say anything that impresses me. What do you mean? So you say I'm sorry for all of my sins?
No, I'm saying that's a good route to take. I feel like I would do...
But you have to mean it.
But I think I would knowing me, I would do something that would be a lot more mentally traumatizing for everyone around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think as though I can't, are we all just leaving for a while and doing other stuff?
I'm coming back, don't worry.
I had to turn off my child's
what are you doing, Brendan?
I had to put some shit on my knuckles.
Oh, his knuckles were flaky.
They were a little dry.
He was getting some snow in his nose from his knuckies.
Imagine, dude, how lucky I would be
if you just flaked cocaine off of your knuckles.
I think I might just say something if it's like something that's just a mind fuck. You know what I mean? When you're like I'll be like, remember this when you find the real rapist, and then
of course,
that kind of a thing or something like that. Oh wait, okay, never mind.
There is that way to go where you're like, well, I guess you'll never find the treasure map, and then you get your head cut off. But good. I would like to say something a little bit more poignant, knowing me, I'd try to, and then I'd fuck it up and then go like, wait, I didn't mean it to say it like that. And then my last words would be all goofed up.
I'd be like, in the bleak midwinter.
Yeah.
I think I would look at whoever was pulling the lever and say, I fucked your dad. I'm sorry.
If anything, you're just giving him more, be like, yes, like before maybe he was like, I don't know if I could do this. And then he's like, oh, this guy's a prick. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think anything that kind of clouds my legacy, but
yeah. No, what you should do is look at the guy, try to look at the guy's eyes through the mask and go, father? Like he'd be like, huh? What?
Is that? I wonder if there's female executioners.
Oh, there are for sure.
It's always a guy in my mind.
There was a
guy.
Well, that's based on your sexist roots, but there's also there was a woman who was famously, she like killed like a really famous like serial killer. She was like the one that was responsible. Fuck, who was it? Not the attractive guy.
Was it a serial killer or just her husband?
Hey. Wow.
What would you say? What else?
I mean, it's just as much your fault that you made nothing funny out of that, because I was clearly intentionally being unfunny, but you guys really paused and made it real.
Yeah, it's nobody's
It's our
fault,
fault.
huh? Yeah, it's always our fault, huh?
No, I said equally your fault.
I think we said what we all would say.
Yeah. What's next?
So what is your last words before you die? Yeah, that's the last one from the chat right now.
Okay, I got one. If you were to create a new sport that is a combination of 2 or 3 existing sports, what would it look like?
Ooh. It would be, well, I mean, Irish football kind of is several sports being included in each other, because there's a little bit of volleyball, there's some soccer, obviously.
Yeah.
There's some rugby, and there's even a little basketball. So
Oh
that's 4 sports in one on a field.
I got it. I got it.
Go.
Surfing and football. Can you imagine how hard it would be when you're on a wave trying to catch a pass, and then when you finally do catch it and you're balancing, someone just jumps off their board out of nowhere and fucking spears you into a wave?
Yeah. And
That'd be fun.
every time you score a point, it goes, "Ha! Touchdown!"
Yeah. And dude, you don't even have to tackle the person to make them fall. What you could do is just like ditch off your board and kamikaze onto like the tail of their board to just unbalance them enough to make them fall.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Mine would be like, I think I would do like motocross racing mixed with volleyball would be cool. And then throw like in the last second skydiving, some sort of athletic skydiving.
What was the first one?
Motocross racing.
Okay, and with skydiving, how are the
And
tires?
volleyball.
How are the tires gripping the clouds?
Hey, look, it ain't my job to come up with the logistics of this. I just say the words.
I actually think it might be in this situation.
Okay, this is what it is. The motocross, like the whole motocross map, is a hovering land on giant fans,
Mhm.
a la like the floating sky in Star Wars, and it's just floating in the air, and then you're going. When you score a point, you have to zoom, and then
You just
Skydive.
acted that out instead. That was great. All right, that's not that bad.
Mike,
So
you
I think so. Mine actually is a sport that we kind of used to play. I think I've told you guys about this, but we used to do full contact pool basketball. Did I tell you about that?
I don't know.
So my buddy Timmy used to have like an above ground pool, probably 4 feet or whatever. And in high school, especially when high school into college, especially when all of us were on steroids, we would play full contact pool basketball. And it's exactly what you think it is. It is 100% lock up, dunk the person, throw them against the wall, throw them out of the pool, rip the ball, and it's just a fucking fist fight to 11. It's awesome. It was such a great, the amount of people that got like stripped butt naked and thrown out of the pool just to like showcase how little they could do physically is ridiculous. I was one of them.
I want to
strip naked.
I think I want to change my answer. I thought of something cooler. It's skydiving again. You start with skydiving. Then 2 guys skydive out of a plane. They hit the bottom. They have to do a fucking marathon. And then when they get to the end of the race, they have to do extreme wrestling.
What's extreme wrestling?
Like WWE and stuff.
Like barbed wire with light bulbs and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so no holds barred.
They have to do a cage match.
What an uneventful cage match that'll be. They'll both just fall asleep on each other's tummies.
But whoever gets that belt deserves it.
That's true.
And then
Jonathan
the belt
Park
is
said,
also.
"Congrats,
Sorry.
that's water polo to me."
Yeah, it really is, I guess. Oh my god.
Yeah, you just invented a game that exists.
Mm-hmm. Well, not really though, because water polo isn't really full contact. I don't think there's like real rules to it. And they also have to swim in like deep water. I'm talking about your feet touch the ground in this, so you have some leverage. You know,
anything with dodgeball would be cool too. Dodgeball skydiving.
We dodgeball skydiving. You go to throw it, and it just goes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nobody ever loses.
Except anybody who's above you, who's like left the plane later than you.
That's how you get people. That's how you get people out. You got to be the first one to dive out of the plane. So it's a scramble.
Yeah.
It's a scramble to jump out of the plane. So all right, Brendan, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, here we go.
You get a huge plane like the one in Mission Impossible that Tom Cruise jumps off of, and they showed that shot where it was like computer graphics and then not. So it's that big carrier plane. And there's two teams, there's balls in the middle, and there's a go whistle. Both teams scramble to grab the balls. Whoever gets the ball, and it's a full wrestle for the balls, and you guys have to skydive once you get the ball, and then everybody skydives out, and the people at the bottom are obviously at an advantage where they can throw the ball upward to try to get the people out above you. And it also depends on how well you can kind of glide and change your body and fix your speeds while you're falling and plummeting.
But I think the balls can't be like dodgeballs. They'd have to be like
cannonballs. They have to be full.
Yeah, and then because what I would do if I was at top is I would position myself almost doing like a handstand on top of the ball and just fucking go like a pencil and push it down as hard as I could to gain speed to go down towards the people below me.
Right.
And impale them.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
A catch would have to be everybody's out. Because if you were somehow able to catch an 800 mile per hour dodgeball that's coming up at you, you get to win.
Yeah, I don't think everybody should be out on that. I think
that's easy enough to just be one guy.
No, but it's not fair for everyone else to lose.
Why?
Because
It'll
you caught a ball.
Happen. But that's
if
what
you
happens.
Catch the golden ball.
But didn't you play that way where if you caught? If you once you caught the person's ball or the next person comes in, like the person that was out comes in.
Yes, it's the person you catch a ball and the person who threw it is out and then someone comes in.
Right.
So yes, that could be the way to do it. But then we have one golden ball, and if you catch the golden ball, everyone's out.
Well,
okay.
The worst part is that if anybody doesn't catch the ball,
that's it. You just fall to the earth.
People are just dying.
No, you have pouches.
Yeah.
For the balls?
Parachutes.
No, not for the balls.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the people on Earth walking around the ground are going to have cannonballs coming at warp speed towards the Earth.
Right. Well, they'll melt.
Well, that's why you make them regular dodgeballs, because then what happens is when you hit the ground, then it becomes dodgeball again, and all the balls start coming down like point, point, point. And
right.
If you get hit with them, you're out and probably dead. But if not, you can pick it up and throw it.
Yeah, in this scenario, Feeney, we're allowed to have mutating dodgeballs.
Got it.
We have a bunch of questions from the chat.
Okay.
So Nifty Biscuit again, you can replace one of your co-hosts with a cartoon character, but they are sent to the cartoon world in exchange. Who are you bringing in? Where are you sending your co-host of choice?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
But this isn't about our show. It's about sending the co-host to the cartoon world, right?
Yeah. I mean, kind of, but it also, we have to talk to the character that fills in for whoever.
Oh, okay. So here's what we do. I'm sending Cannon, and I'm sending him into Hey Arnold's world, and because I think it'll be like Cannon will get to like grow up and be like a city kid, which is something that he likes and wants. But then also he'll have Grandpa Phil, who's like such a great, the best cartoon father there is, and he's just like very warm and always gives sage advice, and he's a little kooky, which would only give him more material, and then I don't think he would have as many cases of the angries.
I feel like I'm getting better at the angries. I just don't talk to you guys as much. Maybe that's the secret.
We talk 6 hours a week.
I don't think so.
Every day?
I don't think so. Not really.
Single day.
Not all. Not really.
I mean, on record for sure, like upwards of 6 hours a week, plus the conversations that we have leading up to each.
We have bursts. That's it.
Okay.
Um,
I want to replace Feeny with that pink, not the Pink Panther, that pink tiger that's in all the Boomerang commercials, cartoons. The one that's like, he like talks like this. You know that guy?
Is his name like Snuffleupagus or something?
Yeah, with Snuffleupagus. He has like a phrase where he's like, he's like to the left even.
So
Yeah.
what is his world like that I'm going there?
Just like, Boomerang World. It's like all cartoons, Acme bullshit, stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, you gave Canon a second chance at life.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
really
I thought
nice,
that's what
'cause
you were giving me. You just were
No,
like,
I
I just
I-
want
No, I just-
Snuffleupagus on the podcast
I-
instead of Feeny. Is basically what you said.
I would
think-
I would
think it'd
send
be a
Feeny
good-
to Strawberry Shortcake, and we'd get the curly mustached bad guy. That guy is so
I would
hilarious.
love a curly mustache.
Dude,
Even like the guy
this guy,
from Boris.
Feeny, it's really funny. This guy actually, you could play this dude in a real live action thing.
Who is it?
Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up, and then I'm gonna share my screen.
I would replace Canon with like that droopy dog, the one that's like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm so upset.
That was really good.
now we're cooking.
Oh, let's start the show.
I'm trying to find a
Oh,
good picture
no.
of this guy. I mean, this guy might be like anti-Jewish propaganda. Now that I'm looking at him, I had no idea when I was a kid. Yeah, it's horrifying. So, what about Brendan? Who would we send Brendan into?
I don't know any of the characters, but I just feel like Brendan needs to go to Bob's Burgers
That would be awesome.
just because of the burger
That'd be a
element.
fun show. And
I get
nobody
that,
dies in that show or anything. It's fun.
I get that a lot. That I sound like somebody from that.
John Benjamin.
I guess. I don't know, man.
No.
People are so split on my voice, and for whatever reason, it really hurts my feelings. But people are constantly like, this guy is a homosexual. Hear it on his voice. You could taste the cum from here. And then other people are like, oh, Jesus Christ, why don't you try to mock Tom Green even more? And I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
I don't
What?
think that your voice sounds like anybody. Like I think you have a unique voice.
It is what it is. I don't care who it sounds like. It's just such a weird thing that up until 35 or whenever, it maybe until my first appearance on Legion of Skanks, let's say. So however old I was then, up until that point in my life, I had never heard that I sounded gay ever. And now that's a go-to for strangers. So it must be the case.
Well,
Yeah,
you
but
have,
see,
like-
I get that, but only because it's not of your cadence. It's,
No, I enunciate. This guy.
oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's just that's
Oh,
like
I didn't
Skinny
even
Jay
notice
Leno.
the dreidel in the background. Jesus Christ.
That's a
Menorah.
menorah.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Menorah. I need to bulk up on
Yeah,
my
I was to
culture.
say it's not the cadence of your voice. Like you don't have like what people would say is like stereotypical like gay voice. It's just the subject matter. You know what I mean? When you're on Legion of Skanks regularly talking about NSYNC and boy bands and stuff, people are gonna make assumptions.
I've never talked about that on that show. I talk about that on our show. I talk
It's
about
every
that on
show.
the show that matters.
every show.
No, they say it's the voice. Like it's literally the quality and substance of my voice, not the topics.
Well, you do kind of have like a slight, very, very unnoticeable lisp sometimes.
It's definitely not a lisp, but it's I over enunciate for sure.
It's something. And you know what? I like it.
I don't care.
Great backpedal.
No, it's just not a lisp is like that. A lisp is that.
Oh yeah.
Or like sibilant S. Like if it was that, that's more so. But I for sure over enunciate. Brendan, I just went over to the YouTube to check a question, and it's just a delayed of you doing guns. Oh, that's fun. Somebody should make a meme of that. All right, so we have other questions. Jonathan Parks, this is a good question. If you owned a comedy club, what would you do to innovate and be fresh?
Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question.
I feel like this is something we've discussed in the past, but I mean the basic things apply. No check spots. Fucking. Get them there early enough. Seat from front to back. Stay quiet. I think Mike threw out the Alamo Draft House thing, so waitresses don't even have to fucking talk.
Yeah, that's my number one.
Guaranteed security in the club. I would have the audience mic'd, so that way if the comic wanted to record their sets, it would be a great quality recording, which would only benefit me and the club, even though it's an expense up top, because everyone would be promoting it on social media like they would.
Well, that's the weird thing, dude, about some of these road rooms that are like no filming, and you have to get clearance from us if you post the clip. And it's like, first of all, no, I don't. I'll post it immediately without anything. Like, that's so crazy of you to think you have any ownership over my material just because you're the fucking backdrop.
Those are usually bad clubs.
Yeah, they're always bad clubs. And it's bizarre because they are spitting in the face of free promotion, where it's like, the Cellar obviously has Louis' show and all those major things that helped promote it, but it doesn't hurt that people are also plastering their logo in every Instagram clip imaginable.
Right.
I mean, it just raises the lure of the club.
I would also do this thing, and this isn't like super important, but I know what I wouldn't do, and I wouldn't have a bunch of comics from the 80s faces painted on my wall. I don't want any comics painted on the wall. You go to a comedy club, they're all dead. It's sad.
Yeah.
I like the Comedy Store script signing and the picture walls, though. That's pretty cool to me.
That is cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like history of it.
I don't know.
Cartoon paintings pretty rough.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with the paintings, because that sucks, and that only reminds me of like Broadway, where they had weird paintings of like Ace Ventura 2 for no reason.
The Improv has that.
Yeah, it's just I'm not a huge fan of it. It can look cool, I suppose, but I am a big fan of like seeing old headshots. And every time I go to the comic strip, I just spend time staring at the wall, and it's
of course
that type really interests me. And
what's so funny? When Erica's first job out of college, she worked for some like company that was like monitoring the construction of the Freedom Tower, and there was like this 50-something-year-old woman there that was just like a Jewish, she was kind of like the mother hen of like all of the workers and stuff like that. And I guess at one point she had done comedy, and she I guess had a bunch of stories that when I went to Erica's like Christmas party, found out some shit. Like, she was just like, I have a picture up at the comic strip. And this is when I was like my first year in comedy. So I was like, what? And then she was like, yeah, I just stopped doing, I ended up stopped doing comedy. And then like, I even talked to, what was her name? Gladys at the comic strip about this woman. And she was like, oh yeah, she was so funny. And I think she also claimed to have a romantic relationship with Sarah Silverman.
Nice. I'm sure that's
it was pretty
hot.
wild. Yeah.
Wow.
Gladys is hilarious. Gladys was my first quote unquote mentor, just because I did her mic/bringer like really super early. But she has no accounting of time whatsoever. I like every time I see her, she's like, I remember 26 years ago when you stepped on my stage for the first time. And I'm like, Gladys, you have dementia. I don't know what you're talking about.
But I was talking to this I was like, why did you stop doing comedy? Because it seemed like things were going pretty well for you. And she was saying that like the more, and I think she had very, limited, but enough New York success where people knew of her. But she was just saying that she got like slowly comedy gave her, you won't believe this, and it's going to sound very far-fetched, stand-up comedy gave her crippling anxiety over time. The more socially she was around other comics and having to worry about this and worry about that, and it basically like ruined her. So
Right.
she was like, I just want to get out of this so I could like mentally, emotionally survive. And I guess she's kind of happy now. She's just like was just the funniest person in her office, kind of a thing.
I'm sure that's
Yeah.
even more rewarding for her, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
It's
But
like no
imagine being,
pressure
like,
comedy.
Imagine doing well enough that you were like during the strip's heyday, you were like, one of the especially female comedians. Even then, it was like there were so few of them.
Man,
Right.
But
something must have happened. Like some sort of big failure must have happened for her to be like, okay, never mind.
maybe,
I'm
but
done.
she was just saying, like, she was just like, all of a sudden, like years and years in, I started getting more like, it was more like I was getting anxiety. I was getting like, why are people getting this? I'm not getting this. Then I would get more nervous going on stage, feeling like there was more right. Because again, that was like the height. That was like the boom. So it was like, it was probably industry every night. Things were packed. It was,
Yeah.
basically what we were chasing when we performed for 6 people there. But yeah,
Have you never done it packed?
the strip. Oh
Yeah.
no,
Never? Oh man,
It's
it
good
is.
packed.
It is a magical room when it's packed. Like it feels like from a time forgotten.
I hear that about I heard that about Dangerfields too. Where they're like,
Yeah.
oh, the 5 days a year when this place is packed, you would fucking love it. And I'm like, cool, I'll be there the other nights.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brutal. Dangerfields was brutal, man. Like Saturday night, 8:00, you walk in, there's 5 people there. You're like, what happened? What's going on here?
The 5 people, that must have been some hot night for them, because I've gotten there at 8 p.m. on a Saturday and they're like, show will start in 50 minutes. I'm like, but I have an 8:45 and then a 9:30 downtown. They're like, looks like you got to miss one. And I'm like, hasta luego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, RIP. Everybody is so sad about that place. It's so hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. Genocide. She asks, would you rather wake up to being hunted like in The Purge or wake up to a zombie apocalypse?
Zombie apocalypse. I mean, there's nothing fun about being hunted. I mean, zombie apocalypse, you're being hunted anyway, but at least we could fucking be friends.
Nah, man, the Purge, because the Purge is only a night.
But that wasn't the question. She said like the Purge. So you're just getting
and the Purge.
You're just
And
getting hunted.
what's like the Purge is that it is just a night of being hunted.
No, but being, I think what she meant was you're being it's like the Purge, as in you're getting just chased by people because they're all coming. I just picture it as getting hunted. But if it's Purge or zombie apocalypse, definitely Purge.
If we're going off of the words she said, then yeah. But if we're going off your biblical interpretations, then I would agree that probably zombie.
Mike, what do you think? Cannon, what do you think? What do you think she meant?
I think both of you have validity, and I do appreciate Feeney's passive aggression. I think that's super.
She
fun to
could just
witness.
tell us what she thinks.
She could tell us what she meant.
I'll tell you what. I'm not going to go back into the chat just to keep it vague, baby. I want to see us struggle with the definition. But I think the difference probably is that the Purge is a focused hunt, right? So somebody is hunting at you.
Yes.
So maybe this is not the movie The Purge, but that is what she means in terms of focus hunting, and you have to defeat your foil, or it's a zombie apocalypse where it's a more vague danger and you just can't get eaten by the zombies who may or may not be aware of your existence.
I'm going Purge all the way, just because you can always hide from humans. Zombies, they'll find you.
She Genocide said, whatever y'all think is the balance.
Great.
Yep, so she's not helping out at all. She loves just throwing a nice bomb into a koi pond.
I didn't know Switzerland threw bombs.
So let's just go with, do you want to be in a Purge or do you want to be in the zombie apocalypse?
Sure. So I obviously Purge. I think I could probably survive a full 24 hours with somebody hunting me down specifically, but a zombie apocalypse, that if I can't handle 7 months living in a beautiful home, having every, meal catered and my son being awesome, how am I going to deal with year upon year of a zombie apocalypse?
With less food, less rations, more risk, more zombies.
In fairness, I would be able to go outside, though, and bludgeon people to death, and it would be socially acceptable.
Oh, you can with the Purge as well.
Yeah, with the Purge, too.
Oh,
I think with the Purge, it's like I would just lock myself in one room, shotgun pointing at the door, and any single thing that walked through it was getting blown away. And I just do that for a 12-hour shift.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have
just
a fucking
waiting.
Yep, just there. I got.
You're like Josh
Snickers.
Brolin in what's it called? No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men.
Oh man, when the fucking lock hits him in the chest and he just like
Ooh.
he shoots and then fucking climbs, tosses it out the window. It's all one fluid motion.
Oh,
God, that
great.
movie is the best.
That movie rules, dude.
Makes me want to get into a gunfight. Somebody asked, is Brendan in a bathroom?
Am I in a bathroom?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh,
it is.
because of
It
this?
is like, yeah, it's like unflattering, strong lighting and towels around.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I gotta find a place for these fucking towels. They do not look good.
That's okay. Next question we got from Cerna Style, which, thankful he's okay, right? He had a brush with COVID.
Did he have a brush with COVID?
Didn't he? He ended up in the hospital. He was supposed to go to Feeney's show, and then he said he couldn't be, and then posted a picture from.
I don't know what happened to him in the hospital, but I know he bailed hard on Royersford, so must have been pretty bad, I guess.
If it wasn't, you've made an enemy. But
if it was, you've made an enemy. But I'll at least understand it. But
his question, and then he also followed his question with Feeney looks so French dressed like that. His question.
I was waiting for someone to say that, but here's the thing: I knew it'd be somebody in the chat, and I knew it wouldn't be you two because it's a low base. It's a very
low hanging fruit.
It's at what? Yes, it's low hanging fruit. That's the nicest. That's
well, you can't wear an outfit that's obviously something and then get mad at somebody who doesn't do comedy professionally for pointing it out.
Well, you can for sure.
No,
you can get mad at anything you want.
Yeah.
Nope.
Mike, you should know
coming
that.
from the maddest guy on earth. No, you can't.
But Mike, you're not mad. You put positivity as your background sometimes.
That's right, I do. What are you doing?
Oh, here it comes.
What are you doing? Feeney, you have so much to work on. You're a nightmare of a human being and you refuse to change because you think people like you. I'm calling it right now. I don't like you. I'm finished with this friendship and I'm done.
There he is.
Done.
Dude, that was such a perfect beat. It was such a perfect pause of silence before. Well, what the
If you don't think I know what I'm doing and how to harness this thing that you guys forced upon me, you're out of your mind. So, Cerna Style, if you had a prosthetic limb, what kind of weapon would you hide/want in it?
Oh, I'm definitely having one of those Assassin's Creed knives where you just walk up and you go like sink,
That's pretty cool.
What about the
I want the leg machine gun grenade launcher thing that chick had in that movie.
That's cool. That would seem like
is that Death Proof or something?
Yeah. The what's her name? Weinstein chick. Rose McGowan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that is probably not how she likes to be defined. What's her name?
Ooh.
Weinstein chick.
Weinstein's chick. Weinstein's girlfriend.
Yeah, Weinstein's no girlfriend.
I would rather have. I like the grenade launcher idea, but it's got to be on your arm, man. You can't be like. I can't be walking on it. What if it goes off while you're walking by accident and you just
super jump?
Oh, now I like it.
That's pretty cool. But that would so basically we would just get Iron Man's hand, right? Like just his arm or whatever, because that can like that could obviously launch you. It's a weapon. It has other stuff that comes out of the forearm and probably nice sound.
Cool.
But because I was thinking earlier, I was like, oh, maybe Mega Man's arm, like that would be cool. But then if it's just a weird hole and I can't have a hand, but then if it becomes a hand, it's basically Iron Man.
Yeah, and then you end up fucking the hole. So
you just end up banging your blaster.
It'd be cool to have a chainsaw as an arm. That'd be kind of cool.
That seems so heavy to hold up.
It's
with
gotta
your shoulder.
be heavy. Yeah.
That's the good part about the grenade thing as a leg is you can kind of use it as like an anchor,
Yeah. And what if the chain on the chainsaw? But what if the chain on the chainsaw like breaks and you have to get it fixed and everything?
Yeah, you have to grease up the chain.
You always have to have WD-40 on you.
Yeah, just
What a pain in the ass. You're just
Yeah.
like, it doesn't start. You're like, 1 minute.
oi, oi, oi.
Yeah,
You
it's so
make
funny
jokes
if
like that.
if the cord wasn't far enough for your arm to do, so you'd have to be like, you'd have to be like, can someone else pull this? Because I need more room actually.
All right, so I guess we all.
There he is.
I
Better
like
late
it.
than never.
I wanted to try it.
I think that might be it. I think we did 54 minutes.
We vanquished our enemies.
We
Do we
vanquished
have
our
time
foes.
for a short one? Is there any more questions?
Yeah. Let's do a short one. We have no more questions in the chat, but thank you guys for
Okay.
joining us. Do you have a short one, Brendan, that you could toss in?
You are a manager at a university, and remember from the first question? You
How about
fucking
this? I got
assholes?
one. Would you rather get a is it called, the Prince Charles, where it's the piercing through the
Yeah.
hole?
Yeah.
Would you rather get the Prince Charles dick piercing or
Prince Albert.
Prince Albert?
Prince Albert.
That's
yeah.
him. What did I say?
Prince Charles is the
Prince
guy that
Charles.
cheated on Princess Diana.
Oh, right. Would you rather cheat on your royalty wife and cause her death, or would you rather get the tongue? The tongue
Turnstile, happy
slice?
birthday, real quick. Sorry, happy birthday. He said he has to go.
Happy
He's having a
birthday, buddy. Happy
dinner, so
birthday.
happy birthday. Thanks
Oh,
for
happy
joining.
birthday, pal.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Would you rather, get the Prince Albert or the where they cut your tongue so that it's like, it goes like, you can move it in two directions like a little like snake
Prince
person?
Prince Albert all the way.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I got to tell you that I don't think I would rather do anything less than pierce my penis. Like
But
I
the
really
piercing
don't
on your-
think.
The piercing on your dick is the skin that they're using is like you can't really feel it. You know what I
It
mean?
goes
It's like
through your dick hole
Yeah,
and
go-
out.
oh,
Not just the excess skin.
I would do
Anybody
that.
would do that.
I would do that. I've had my tongue pierced. That was so fucking painful that I don't want anything cutting. This
And you
tongue
think
ever again.
you think your urethra is more sensitive or less sensitive? It's like Zax.
Fuck.
Have you seen Zax? It's like when he
Yeah.
pisses, it like
Man.
hooks around and goes down
Ugh.
and out.
I can't even think about it. It hurts me.
I would do the tongue thing, because then it'd also be cool to be like, when someone's
Eating
like,
box.
"You're a liar, you little snake," and I go, "What did you say?"
I'll show you how snake-like I can be.
I can be rather sinister.
And then you turn into a giant snake like Jafar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That
thanks
was the
everybody.
episode,
That was the
everybody.
episode. Hell yeah.
Thanks
That
for
was our
tuning into the free weekly episodes, and tell your friends.
That's right. We'll be back this Wednesday on Patreon, this Friday on Patreon, and then next Monday for free on YouTube with a big announcement coming up. So thank you so much for everybody who's joined our Patreon.
Ooh,
For the
geez.
newbies, join it at patreon.com/scenariopod. And we have stuff for as little as $5. You get all the audio from all of our episodes plus the bonus, and then all the video content starts at $10. So
And they're fun. It's fun
Yeah, they're so
episodes.
fun.
It's
It's
worth
so
doing.
fun.
We're putting up extra content. We're doing a bunch of shit. Mike's got a fucking whole like a mini podcast he's doing on
I mean,
there.
I'm doing an hour. I did an hour on the nose this last time. I don't know what I'm
Mike's
doing.
doing a stupid little podcast.
I
It's
am basically.
great.
It's more or less. It's not even a stupid little podcast. It's because Alan never emailed me back. It's therapy. I mean, there's some like weird,
Aw.
deep things that I'm getting into during the show, and I'm like, this is embarrassing. Every time I take an edible, I fold in on myself thinking about that podcast. But the fact that it's only on our Patreon, it's great.
Great.
Yeah.
Love
Who gives
it.
a shit?
So love you guys.